Welcome back to my channel. Whatever side of the rainbow you happen to be sitting on, or anywhere in between, really, you're welcome. Honestly, come gather around. Let's talk. Okay. Now, I have had some comments, which I'm really grateful for. Thank you. That's awesome. I love interacting with you guys. It's really cool getting to know people. I noticed that there were some people that were asking me about the differences between the American medical system and the NHS, which is basically the English medical system. Um, there's another thing that I have noticed now that I'm thinking about it, actually. Um, when you're over here and you get a prescription for a pain medication, right? You have to register at a surgery, which is a word that depicts a building that houses many GPs, usually, I don't know, anywhere from 5 to 7, in the same building, and then they know where you live, and you are given an NHS number, which identifies you in their system, and I believe, as far as I know, it records all the little interactions you have with any medical, like doctors, specialists, what you're prescribed, and how much. Now, that is something that I never had to deal with when I was in America. It's not a hassle, I don't mind, but it does really put in place a good safety for people that might be inclined to abuse the system for the abuse of certain medications. And there's all different kinds that can be abused. So, I'm not going to hone in on specific ones. I might, I don't know. But usually I won't, because there's a whole lot that can be abused. And over in America, I noticed that you could go to one doctor, and if he gave you a prescription for whatever it was you were seeking, then if you could, get an appointment with another doctor in the same week or same day, maybe, uh, he could prescribe you an additional prescription for whatever drug it was that you were looking for. Um, whether you needed it or not. Usually they're pretty keen on the one. I'd like to think they can tell if you need it or not. But, you know. So, conceivably, there are quite a few people over there that, if they want to, they can go to multiple doctors a day, or a week, or a year, and get multiple prescriptions. And that allows them to be able to abuse whatever it is that they're after. Here, all of my prescriptions are done through my surgery, one doctor, one NHS number. And there really is no way for me to go to another doctor that I'm aware of to obtain, say, a second prescription for something. It just doesn't work. So that's something that I don't think a lot of people are aware of, or maybe they don't talk about it very much. But in America, you have a social security number, sure, but most doctors, you fill out your paperwork, and I've seen people do this. They just fill out the paperwork and lie, and then they get the prescription. And there really isn't, from what I've seen, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but from what I've seen, there isn't really a whole lot of checks and balances when it comes to that of what I'm speaking about right now. There should be, but I don't think there are. And that would be of great help, I think, to this opioid crisis that they keep talking about. But um, when they use words like that, they're hurting people that have legitimate pain issues. Um, I don't like when I see charlatans who are not in actual pain trying to get pain meds. It does reflect badly upon people that actually are suffering. Um, but because of opioid crisis, I've heard it said different ways, but um, through the pain groups that I am a part of, I've learned that some people that used to go to their pain management clinics and they would get a certain, regimen to follow, uh, were being told, well, we can't or we won't be giving you this anymore, and instead try meditation to deal with your pain or to just be brave. And I really, when it comes to pain, everybody has their limits. Even the strongest will bow to pain eventually because um, it erodes your strength, and you just sometimes you'll find yourself where you need help. And I just hope that rather than demonizing opiates, maybe they would find a reason to find alternative pain medications that perhaps aren't as habit forming, because there have been studies done on certain, I believe it was venomous creatures in the ocean that have proven that they can provide pain control with, they're non habit forming, but it provides a very strong pain therapy. And I mean, do you know what that would mean for somebody like me? Fibromyalgia, sciatica, and then chronic regional pain syndrome. I am a voodoo doll. I get stabbing pains randomly, and sometimes I have had to re-record my video because I cry out in pain. It hurts, and I can't hide it. Um, and I'm not that sophisticated with my video editing at all. So usually when I do these, it's one shot, and I do it in one sitting. So I'm doing my best. For now, I'm watching YouTube videos, and I'm trying to learn how to do video editing. So please bear with me. I don't give up. I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep trying, and I'm working on it. Okay, but I'm really enjoying this, and I am really. It's important to me to be a voice that tells my truth and can share what I've seen on both sides of the water. Like I've been in America, lived there most of my life, and I've lived in England now. I would say since 2011, and then prior to that, when I was a little girl, I lived here for about ooh, it's been a while since I've had to count this, a few years as well. So, developmental years, adult years, and then, I spent from the time I was 13 until I was about 30, 32, I think, over in America. So, I have seen both sides, and, I do have a lot of health problems. And they're not anything that I have created, mind you. So I have some experience in the medical communities, and um, I've seen and experienced quite a bit. And I hope that I can answer your questions, and give you the best and most accurate information that I can. You know, uh, because before I came here, I was really uncertain as well. I didn't know what to expect. I had been told uh, about the NHS, but not from the perspective of somebody that lived here. So, I've been able to become that person now. So, I've seen it from both sides. And I can tell you it is life-changing to know that there is someone there who can save your life, and you're not going to fall into eternal debt because of it. That changes everything, you know. Um, and maybe I appreciate it more than some people that have lived here all their life, because I didn't have it all my life. Um, I mean, I arrived in 2011. That was when I first experienced the NHS. First time. And it was, you know, enlightening. Your, your whole world changes. Your whole perspective um, just grows. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But it's it also proves to me that this world is not as big as some people think it is, and it's not as big as some people would like it to be, because there are some people that they use the internet to hurt other people, and they think they can get away with it. And some do, but I want to try to help people if I can. So let's see. When I had to go to see my GP, basically what you do is you go onto this website online, and right now, okay, and that's just because of the pandemic, but you go onto the website and you can request like an internet, a phone interview, or you can do like a video conference. So that's the options you have right now to go see your doctors or your GP, your general practitioner. They just say GP. But you go whenever they call you, and they'll speak to you at your regular allotted time, and you tell them what the problem is. If it can't be resolved in that amount of time, then they will make another appointment with you, and they'll work it out. And they do. Believe me, they do. And if they need to prescribe you something, then they'll send the prescription straight to the chemist, the pharmacist. And, if it's not too late in the day, then you can either go pick it up, or if you're deemed vulnerable, then you can have it delivered to your house, which is also pretty cool. Um, let's see. Now, prior to the epidemic, we had epidemic or pandemic. I don't remember. Somebody tell me, because I keep getting the two confused, and I know I shouldn't, but I thought a pandemic passed through humans and animals, and an epidemic was just humans. But please enlighten me, please. Um, let's see. Um, yeah. Okay. So prior, my GP would have to refer me to a specialist, and I was having a lot of problems that meant that I would need to go see a rheumatologist. And so I was put on a waiting list. It's not as long as, I don't know, the media would like you to think, or maybe a biased news source would like you to think. It's not that bad. Um, for me, it took 2 months, I think. And a 2 month wait is not that bad for a non critical thing, okay? I wasn't dying. And all it was is I needed to be seen. I need to grab my water. Excuse me. Okay. Normally I don't do that, but my throat was getting so dry. Okay. I went to my appointment. I was sent an appointment in the mail, just like a normal appointment. And they also did a text and a phone call. So they're really good about that. They will call, text, and send you a letter. You will have been contacted in every possible way, so you can't say you didn't get notified. I think that's why they do it. I'm not sure. But you go at the appointed time, and Usually it's in a hospital. The hospitals are clean. There's nothing filthy about them any more than you would find at a hospital in America. You know, you walk in, there's a bit of a food smell like a cafeteria. You're going to have your gift shop, you know. You'll have some like places where you can buy your sodas and, you know, those little shops where you can get like your newspaper, candy bar, and like a sandwich or whatever, like that. And that's pretty much it. And the rest of it is, you know, therapies and hospital rooms. So I went up, I waited. I didn't wait long. It was about 15 minutes. I got up, I went in to speak to my rheumatologist, and then he gave me the wonderful news that I had severe fibromyalgia. Oh, yay. And I told him I had done some research and I thought I might have it, and he kind of chuckled a little bit. He's like, "You think you have it? You do." And yeah, at least he had a sense of humor about it. But he was very professional, very nice, and you know, he was trying to soften the blow a little bit. And I had a sense of humor about it. I don't know if everybody would, but you know. So I was updated on my file in the database, and that information was sent to my GP, who had that information in a few days. And then I was, if they were prescribing me anything new, then what they would do is they would issue it to the chemist, then the chemist would deliver it to me. And I would have instructions on there explaining why I needed this, um, and so on and so forth. So it was really cool. Now, that's how that worked in England. I'm going to tell you how the specialist referral works in America. All right. Now, when I worked full-time at a computer company, um, I made my appointment. I had called in, they set up the appointment, and then I wrote it down. And I think I got a text. I'm not sure, probably. But you know, you show up to the specialist office, and I had health insurance at the time. So you show up at the hospital, the specialist office, wherever that happens to be. In America, sometimes they have specialist office apart, and that I'm sure they have some of that here too. But over there, you have the copay for showing up to the doctor's office. Usually, mine was between $30 and $40 for like just showing up, and I would pay that, and then I'd sit down, and you wait the appointed time, and the wait time depended. Sometimes it could be long, sometimes it was really quick, just depended on the day, I guess. Um, but then I would be seen, and I would be prescribed something or not, and then if I had prescription coverage, which I think I had partial with my job, I don't think they offered full, and yeah, and then I would pay the rest. And that definitely isn't cheap, but it was better than having no insurance, for sure. So we did that. Now, that's if you have insurance. Okay, when I did not have insurance, this is how it went. I had a herniated disc at the time. I didn't know. Um, and this was before I was working at the computer company. But I was in so much pain. I didn't I could barely move. Like, I couldn't sit down, I couldn't stand up, but if I leaned a certain way, it wasn't too bad. So we go to the emergency room. It's in College Station, Texas, I believe, name of the town, a little bitty town. But they had a nice hospital there, so we went. We had to go to the emergency room. I hate going to those places, especially in pain, because the first thing they do is they look at you and they're like, are you a drug addict? And I'm like, oh God. I'm alternative. I'm a little odd. I'm goth. I'm not a drug addict. Come on. No, like, I didn't even smoke pot at the time. So, a little annoying, but when you walk into the emergency room, you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait because they take you by order of necessity. Well, they took us finally. We were set to a separate room, and one lady came in and tried to assess me. Did came back and gave me Demerol, I think, which it's not ideal, but when you're in pain. But the problem was that it really wasn't doing much for the pain. I wanted it to, but herniated discs are really painful. Um, so I had to stay there a little bit longer, and eventually they sorted me out for that night. And they gave me a prescription for painkillers, which I would have to pay for full price. And they gave me a referral to a back specialist. Okay. So I had a referral to a back specialist. I had a prescription for pain medication and I think a muscle relaxer, I'm not sure. Anyway, had those three things, and then I was given, I had to fill out some paperwork so they could find me where to send the bill, and then I was told I could go home. So I said, okay. We headed over to the pharmacist's because I was curious. It was on the way, so I thought, try. Um, it was about $50 for the prescription, and I just didn't have it at the time. That plus the copay and everything else, I don't know. It's just, no matter what you do, it always drains you. But without insurance is much, much worse. Um, so my friend who had come with me, and this is, I know you shouldn't get embarrassed, but you do. He helped me get them. And then we went home. And yeah. So the next day, I called the specialist number, right, and discussed it with the secretary, the receptionist, however you want to refer to them, and when they found out I had no insurance, they said, "Oh, well, we're sorry, but our doctor doesn't accept patients that have no insurance." And that was it. There was nothing else you could know. You couldn't, come back with anything. And it was very disheartening and cold and callous. Although I know that the very idea of their medical system over there is basically, it's you have money, then that determines the quality of what you will be receiving. I don't want to say that as a blanket comment, because I know that there are exceptions, but my experience was very bleak, um, you know, and I didn't really enjoy it. And so basically what it is I had been referred to many specialists over my life in America, and I couldn't see any of them because I would, if I remember correctly, the majority of them wanted me to have health insurance, and I didn't. I don't know if I've gone into this, but I'll briefly touch on it. Health insurance is difficult to obtain. Um, it isn't if you have a decent amount of money. Then you'll be all right. But then the difficulties start when you have anything wrong with your health. And don't get pregnant. Oh my gosh, don't get pregnant. That could be a really bad thing from what I've heard with some of them. They won't cover the cost. Um, but they're called pre-existing conditions, and they will double or triple the cost of your health insurance. At least the last time I looked, it was so expensive for me. And it's not anybody's fault if they have these problems, it's just not fair. It's like somebody being born deformed and then you blame them for it because they can't do something like everybody else. I was born with defective lungs and a heart that has issues. I had nothing to do with that. But yeah, there you go. Um, so I really hope that there will be universal health care for America at some point, because everybody deserves to feel safe in that way. They really do. Man, I mean, when I arrived here in England, the doctors and nurses that I spoke to would always ask me, well, why did you wait so long to go get help for whatever, for my back pain, or for my asthma, or my mental health issues, which I have now. I have them pretty well in hand, but it takes some work, you know. Um, yeah. All right. Well, I ended up having to tell them that it's because I come from America and our healthcare system is very expensive. And they would look at me. Sometimes they would believe me. Sometimes they would not. And it's hard to explain unless you're actually over there. But yeah, um, most of them didn't seem to understand. And of course you wouldn't, because you've been over here. You haven't really had to live your life that way. Uh, I did hear some news from some of the nurses and doctors that, to be honest, hurt. Um, I didn't have physical therapy to help me out of my wheelchair. Uh, I was on steroids and I puffed up, as I'm sure you can see in my face and my body. And I was left in a wheelchair for a year and told I would never walk again. And it did bring me down because everybody who claimed to be a friend disappeared. Um, and I was determined to try to walk again. And I didn't think it through, but I did achieve my goal. I think I created some nerve damage. But I had a friend who was pretty big, hefty guy, and I asked him if it would be okay if I were to, like, put my arms around his shoulders, and even if he dragged me a little ways, let me try to get my legs to work. Let me try. And so we did that for a few months, and I did regain the ability to walk. I walk slow, but I get there. Um, but they said that the way that I had learned how to walk again could very well have contributed to further nerve damage in my lower spine. But what was I supposed to do? What would you have done? Would you have just laid down and stayed in a wheelchair if some guy you don't even know who is supposed to be this expert tells you, you know what, you're too big and you're never going to walk again, would you just accept that? I couldn't just accept that. I couldn't take it lying down. I had to try. And so I did, and I walk now, and I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, so this is really long, and I should probably make this the ending part here, but I really, really am enjoying this channel. I hope you guys are enjoying what I'm doing, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing who else joins, and who else I get to meet. So yeah, but thank you for your subscriptions. It's really cool watching the little number go up. So I'm like really. There's a local word you can use. You say you're chuffed. It means you're really happy, and I love it. So I am super chuffed. But yeah, thank you so much, and I will hopefully talk to you guys soon. Okay.